Watch the people around you the next time a genuine crisis hits. Most people start leaking energy. They pace, they talk in circles, or they go completely numb. But then, you'll notice that one person who seems to physically tighten up. Their eyes get sharper, their voice gets lower. It's like a biological switch just flipped, and suddenly, they aren't panicking anymore. They're calculating. We like to tell ourselves that mental toughness is something you learn in a boardroom or a gym. But if you look at the raw mechanics of a birth chart, you realize that some people were simply born with a thicker psychological skin. It's a specific cosmic frequency that turns pressure into fuel. We aren't talking about being tough in a loud, aggressive way. We're talking about the 4 specific zodiac archetypes that possess a mental architecture so resilient, it's practically stress-proof. While everyone else is drowning in the noise of the world, these 4 signs are just getting started. Let's look at the DNA of the unbreakable. Sign number 1, Capricorn, the mountain goat. If we're talking about being unbreakable, we have to start with the sign ruled by Saturn. In ancient astrology, Saturn was the planet of restriction, time, and lead. It is the heaviest energy in the cosmos. When you are born under this influence, you don't experience stress the same way others do, because to a Capricorn, life is defined by pressure. Think about how a diamond is formed. It's just carbon that didn't quit when the earth tried to crush it. That is the Capricorn psyche. While other signs are searching for happiness or comfort, Capricorn is looking for utility. When a crisis hits, their brain doesn't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" It asks, "What is the most efficient way to survive this?" Relate this to your own life. You probably know that one person who, when they lose their job or face a massive financial setback, doesn't even take a day to cry. They're already on LinkedIn by 2 p.m. They've already cut their budget. They've already moved on to the next phase. People call them cold, but that's a misunderstanding. It's actually a high-level survival mechanism called compartmentalization. The Capricorn mind is like a series of vault doors. They can take their grief, their fear, and their doubt, lock them in a room, and walk away from the door to get the job done. They understand a truth that the rest of the zodiac fears, that feelings are often a luxury you cannot afford during a storm. They aren't untouched by stress. They just have a higher stress ceiling than anyone else. They are the marathon runners of the zodiac. They don't sprint. They just never, ever stop walking until the mountain is conquered. Sign number 2, Scorpio. Now we move from the physical endurance of the earth signs to the psychological endurance of the water signs. Most people think water means weak, but Scorpio is the exception that proves the rule. While Capricorn is the mountain, Scorpio is the deep ocean pressure. Scorpio is co-ruled by Mars, the god of war, and Pluto, the god of the underworld. This gives them a unique mental landscape. Most people are afraid of the dark, of failure, of betrayal, of loss. Scorpio, however, was born in the dark. They spend their entire lives anticipating the worst-case scenario. When the worst actually happens, everyone else is shocked. Scorpio is relieved. They think, finally, the reality matches what I've been feeling all along. This is why they are mentally unbreakable. You cannot break someone who has already dismantled themselves and put themselves back together 1,000 times. There is a term called post-traumatic growth. It's the idea that some people don't just recover from stress, they become entirely new versions of themselves because of it. Think of a Scorpio like a soldier who has been in the trenches so long they've forgotten what peace feels like. When life gets stressful, they enter a state of hyper-focus. Their survival instincts kick in, and they become master strategists. You want a Scorpio leading you out. They won't hold your hand and tell you it's okay. They will find the one path through the smoke, because they aren't afraid of the fire. They've been there before. Their toughness is rooted in the fact that they have accepted the underworld as a part of life. Sign number 3, Taurus, the iron foundation. Moving back to the earth element, we find a fixed sign, Taurus. If Capricorn is the climber, Taurus is the foundation. There is a massive difference between resilience and immovability. Taurus is the latter. The mental toughness of a Taurus comes from their refusal to be moved by external chaos. This sign is ruled by Venus, which makes them lovers of peace. But because they are a fixed sign, they possess a stubbornness that is actually a superpower in disguise. When the world starts shouting and the headlines start screaming, a Taurus simply needs the noise. They had a psychological, internal anger. Relate this to that one friend who refuses to get swept up in drama. You try to tell them something scandalous or stressful, and they just shrug and say, "It is what it is." That isn't laziness, it's emotional conservation. Taurus understands that most of what we call stress is just noise. They have a rare ability to stay grounded in the physical reality. While an air sign is overthinking 50 different what-if scenarios, Taurus is focusing on what they can touch, taste, and see. They endure because they refuse to participate in the panic. They are the Stoics of the Zodiac. Like an ancient oak tree, they might lose a few leaves in a hurricane, but the trunk isn't going anywhere. Sign number 4, Aries, the first responder. Finally, we have to talk about the first sign of the Zodiac, Aries. Their mental toughness is different from the others. It isn't based on waiting it out or hiding in a vault. It is based on combative resilience. Aries is ruled by Mars. In a psychological sense, Aries treats stress like a physical opponent. When most people feel stressed, their cortisol levels rise and they go into flight or freeze mode. Aries goes into fight mode. They are the only sign that actually gets more energized when things get difficult. Think of a professional athlete in the final 10 seconds of a game. The pressure is suffocating, the crowd is screaming, and the stakes are life-altering. Most people would choke. But the Aries-minded individual feels a surge of adrenaline that sharpens their vision. They don't have time to be stressed because they are too busy taking action. Nature of Aries comes from their optimism. Not a toxic positivity, but a raw, primal belief that they can win any fight. They are mentally tough because they don't view a crisis as a disaster, they view it as a challenge. If you tell an Aries something is impossible, you've just given them the greatest motivation of their life. They don't break because they are always moving forward. It's hard to hit a moving target, and it's hard for stress to touch someone who is constantly charging toward the next objective. As we wrap this up, it's important to look at the why. Why do these 4 signs, the goat, the phoenix, the bull, and the ram, stand tall when the world falls? It's because they have all made peace with a fundamental law of nature. Resistance creates strength. Whether it's the Saturnian discipline of Capricorn, the Plutonian depth of Scorpio, the Venusian grounding of Taurus, or the Martian fire of Aries, these signs share a common thread. They don't look for the easy way out. If you're watching this and your sign wasn't mentioned, don't think you're weak. In astrology, we all have these placements somewhere in our chart. Maybe your sun sign is a sensitive Pisces, but your Mars is in Capricorn. That means your drive is unbreakable. Maybe your moon is in Scorpio, meaning your emotions are a fortress. The goal of understanding these archetypes isn't to create a hierarchy of who is better. It's to help you identify which tool you have in your own psychological kick. When the world gets loud and the pressure mounts, which version of Unbreakable are you going to channel? Are you going to be the mountain, the ocean, the foundation, or the warrior? The stars might map out our tendencies, but the choices we make in the heat of the moment define our character. If you've made it this far, let me know in the comments, which of these 4 types of resilience do you feel in your own life? Or better yet, which sign have you seen survive the impossible? Don't forget to check your big 3, your sun, moon, and rising to see where your hidden armor is located. If you found this insight helpful, hit the like button and subscribe to stay tuned as we dive deeper into the mechanics of your cosmic DNA. Until next time, stay grounded, stay sharp, and remember, you were built to endure.